Hi, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about what I'm going to read during May. Most of the books are science fiction books, but I've got one cozy fiction book. I noticed my video on Days at the Marisaki bookshop got a lot of views, so I'm guessing my viewers like cozy fiction. So hopefully that book is a hit with both me and the audience. The first book I'm going to read is called Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I've actually already got about halfway through this book, and it's a great read. I think she has a real way with words. The dystopian future is well set out, but there's also lots of ideas in the narrative. The only thing I don't like so much is there's a lot of flicking backwards and forwards from before the pandemic to after the pandemic. This makes it difficult to sink into the book because you've got to readjust to the time period and the new point of view a lot of the time in this book. But the structure is the only weak point in the book, I think. It's full of ideas, and there's just so much to this book. So I think it's going to be one of the best reads of this year for me, judging from so far. The next book I'm going to read is called At Home in Mitford by Karon. I've heard good things about this book. It's a kind of cozy Christian fiction book. It's based in a small town. You can see from the front cover that it's a nice small town. And so it's meant to be a charming, kind of heartwarming kind of tale. So I'll review this and then you know what I think about it. The next book I'm going to read is called The Death of Grass by John Christopher. I've already read this book twice, but I never made notes on it each time I read it, so I can't remember enough about it to review it, so I feel I need to reread it. I want to make sure my reviews are decent, so I think it's better if I reread it. But it's really a dynamic tale. The novel is full of drama. Basically, a virus comes over from China to the West and infects the crops, so there's famine everywhere. The government are in a difficult position and come up with really, really radical plans that are quite bizarrely nasty, if I remember rightly. The main characters in the book are in London, but they go north to a family farm to kind of get away from all this danger. On their trek north, they come across lots of problems, and so it's largely a novel about a journey. It's a great read, so I don't mind rereading it. The final novel I'm going to read is called The Crystal World by J.G. Ballard. This is considered to be the third novel in a trilogy of catastrophe novels. The first novel is The Drowned World. The second one is The Burning World, and then you get this novel. In these three novels, he uses very poetic language and comes up with very rich imagery. So it's well worth reading at least one of these novels. I haven't read all of his later works, but from the works that I have read, I get the impression that he doesn't use quite such rich imagery later in his career. He was brought up in a war zone, and he talks about the way that has affected his writing. He's also said that the landscapes of the Far East affect the way that he draws up his fictional landscapes. He found the landscapes of England, where he was based in later life, to be relatively uninspiring, which I've found to be quite interesting. You feel like a lot of publishers today wouldn't publish J.G. Ballard's works oftentimes because he doesn't hold back. He challenges the degree of free speech you can get. He surprises a lot, and he liked to do that. So he's really a very interesting writer. I highly recommend you read something by him. So this book, from the looks of it, looks to be almost getting into the fantasy genre, but I hope it's still well within the sci-fi genre, because that's the genre I like probably most of all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.